Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? We have the Echo 670 turd saw. Go back and check how bad this thing was. Laid out on the bench. We have our cylinder ported, pistons cleaned up, ready to go. Now what I'm doing here is I'm laying all the parts out. Because remember, I've had this thing apart for months. And this is where downloading an IPL really comes in handy. I'll probably just use the IPL to familiarize myself with which fasteners go where. I spent a couple hours for you guys cleaning this tank up. That's about as good as it's gonna get. The pitch is rock hard. It looks a million times better now. I cleaned the cases up as good as I can get them. And I'm just going over it now. Remember, the kill switch is broken off right here. The kill switch is broken off this back tray where the carb goes. We got a couple anti-vibe mounts that are kind of toast. So in this case, I was thinking, how am I going to get around all these parts? Some of them are not available anymore. There's a lot of money in parts that need to be replaced. This air dam is crispy, like it's been smoking hot. Top cover is missing one of the clips to hold it on, and it's just, you know, the top cover is in rough shape. Air filter cover smashed. Just trying to recap where we're at with this. Okay. Air filter's seen better days, and the list goes on and on and on. Miscellaneous fasteners were missing. Basically, this power saw was rattling itself apart. You guys could see the handle assembly is all rubbed. It's not a very good looking saw, is it? Now, originally I thought to myself, maybe I'll just put a coat of paint on this. I'll paint it black or whatever, and I'll make it look better. Just to show you guys what you can do when you're on a budget. Most of the parts that are integral to the saw running are in great shape. This carb seemed to run fine. I noticed these have a pretty small carburetor on them out of the box. Maybe that's the reason they're kind of lazy. We're going to run this stock carb. It is an HDA 203. Maybe that's why this carburetor, or why this saw was a little lazy off idle. It didn't, you know, it's kind of, again, got to make those porting sounds so that people understand what you're going on about. So basically what I'm doing in this part of how to port a power saw is I'm going through all these parts. I got a bin full of fasteners here, my choke rod and everything. But now, here's the exciting part, friends. I want to show you guys something here. Okay? We got a lot of good friends on this channel. Okay? Again, we were missing the chain brake. That was donated by Doug. Okay? Doug mailed this to me a couple months ago, and it's like, wow. Now check this out, friends. My friend David Patterson in Arkansas. I want to talk about this fella. Several months ago, I got an email, and I enjoy that. I get a lot of emails from you guys, and David emailed me. David was injured in a climbing accident. He's a tree man. He's a power saw man, like a lot of you guys out there. He fell 70 feet. Pretty bad climbing accident. So he'd been recouping, and he found my channel, I guess, on YouTube. So he'd been going through everything that I'd put out, which I guess helped him in the times where he was laid up, which meant a lot to me. So I ended up calling David, or he called me, or I can't remember. We exchanged particulars, and we ended up yakking several times on the phone. Great fella. David, I hope you're watching right now, and if you are, buddy, hope you're doing well and on the mend. This guy, friends, he's solid gold. He's a good fella. He's super kind, super thoughtful, likes to help other people out. Wouldn't like me saying it, but hey buddy, I just calls it like I sees it. So, you know, people like that inspire me. It's all in perspective. Here's a man who's down and out and wants to help this channel and this community. Well, David, and I'm going to show, I'll bring the old one just for comparison. David had a 670. Sounds like this 670, he bought it blown up, had little to no hours on it. Look underneath, none of this stuff's been cleaned. Okay, look how clean that is under the hood. He had a complete 670 that was grenaded, so I guess the piston cylinder crankcases were no good, but everything else was. So he sent us this package. Again, all new grommets, new choke and throttle rod. Okay, brand new air filter assembly. Most awesome part, I was getting super frustrated with this saw. The carb tray with all new wiring, now an off switch that will actually work. Like, look at this stuff, guys. David, you honestly, buddy, you really took me back when he offered to donate this to the project. Okay, the air deflector on this saw is absolutely crispy. I'm scared to clean it. It's so okay. It's brittle. It's cracked. Okay, again, brand new air deflector. Just trying to show you guys a little comparison. Okay, new cover for the handlebar. Again, brand new handlebar. Like, there's not even a mark on this thing. Body, this is, again, these saws are not common here. Parts for them are not common. A lot of stuff is no longer available. Now, I noticed something interesting. This clutch is completely different than the clutch that's on that saw. I don't know if they updated it or what they did, but again, basically brand new clutch. All the fasteners were missing. Look at this, guys. All of them are all neatly put in this bag. Brand new AV mounts. Okay. The AV mounts on this saw are pretty squishy. One of them was detached. Again, brand new bucking spike and brand new bar guide, bar plate, bar guide, whatever you guys want to call that. Okay, so I guess this changes the game. David, thank you, buddy. He didn't want nothing. He didn't even want me to mention it. But again, guys, I'm just gonna put this over here on the bench. When you guys help me out, it's really humbling, and you know, to have, there's a group of you that are behind the scenes that are helping this channel out, and you know, I really appreciate it, guys. And I know I keep saying that, but it's the truth. I'm one man, and I don't feel like one man anymore. There's a whole group of you guys that are helping out this channel, and it's awesome. It really is. We're building a community here, and chainsaw folks are good folks, I've noticed, and so thank you. So David, now you've upped the game. This is no longer the Echo turd saw. It's the Echo used to be a turd saw. With some hard work, I'm going to really scrub these parts now, and this is basically going to look like a pretty new power saw. The only thing that's still going to be ugly on this is the recoil, but again, that don't matter. We'll take a wheel. I'm going to take a wheel to this thing and really scrub it up. It's not terrible right now. It could be a little cleaner, but I'm gonna be very diligent. I want this saw to be tip top when we're done with it. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. We are getting ready to assemble this saw, and again, I'm going over every inch of this thing and making sure, because when I ran this saw on film when we did the muffler mod, this thing was rattling itself to pieces. All the mounts, AV mounts, all that stuff, all rattled loose when I was done. When I brought it home, the whole power saw was just flopping in the wind. So I'm going to be extra diligent. I'm going to use a lot of Loctite because, like I said, I got special plans for this saw. This saw has to be in tip-top shape when it's done, and then we're going to run it, and then we'll see what's what with it. But I want to give this saw a fair chance. I would actually like to put it up against one of my 266 builds, not one that I've turned up crazy warm, but I think you know, this is a 266, but this is probably going to be nastier than this. But my other one that's on the other bench, my standard go-to 266 build that I do, that's a good strong power saw. Let's put this up against that and see if it's even in the ballpark. Now right away, this carburetor is kind of small. I've noticed that, but we'll see, right? The purpose of this build was for the average person. What can you do at home with basic tooling and no lathe, and just, you know, get a saw up and rocking and rolling? So you know, I was inclined to cut the squish on this thing. I'm not going to do that. You know, we could probably swap a still carb onto here and get a bigger carb going, but again, I'm not going to do that. This isn't about how much power can we get out of a 670 turd saw. This is about you guys building power saws and going through the complete stages and steps. So this is awesome. Again, I feel like we built this saw together. We had the chain brake donated. Now we have every other part that we were missing donated. You guys have been right through the whole process. This has been absolutely an enjoyable thing for me. Today I'm going to finish cleaning. There's so much cleaning to do on this power saw. I feel like better do it now, or, you know, I like the smell of pine when I'm cutting, but because I'm cutting pine, this thing reeks like super dry, punky pine when you run it. It's actually quite funny. Every time I'm cleaning a surface, you can just smell the pine pitch coming off. So another thing I want to talk about before we assemble this, we did that muffler mod. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see through there. There you go. We cut the baffle out. Okay, you can see how it's exiting through there. Again, I didn't want to cut this muffler in half because a lot of you guys don't have welders, and in fact I don't have a welder here right now. So I wanted to see, can we rip the baffle out of this and get it up and running? I think we're gonna have to mod these louvers. I'm thinking about just slitting them and opening it up more. I feel like this saw needs to breathe more than it does, and really the only way to do that, because it's just breathing through there. Okay, I feel like the only way to do that is either fish gill it here or put another deflector here, or just fish gill it on these sides. Most of you guys are not going to have a deflector laying around at home, so I'm really trying to curtail this build to stuff that you guys can recreate on your own saws. So I get a lot of questions, why did you do that, why did you do this? And it's like, well, I'm doing it because it's the basics. And I mean, I could do a full machine build with all kinds of crazy work and custom carbs, but this, for the purposes of this channel, it's just like, I'm just trying to get you guys into porting, and then you'll connect the dots on your own, I think, at some point, right? But I don't want you guys to go too far into a build, because that's when you're going to get into trouble, and you know the saw might not run right or whatever. And it's like you have to know how to correct the problems that you've created. There's no free rides in porting. There really isn't. So, you know, if you raise the compression, it's going to be often, it could be harder to start. It might be a little pickier about what kind of fuel it wants to run. You could break recoils in winter. The saw will probably run hotter, etc., etc. If you go for screaming power, you know, high RPM, it might not be as torquey down low. You know, you're going to have lower compression, stuff like that. So there's no free rides in this, guys. So basically, just be aware of what you're doing, and when you're putting the saw together, double and triple check everything. Okay, that's what this video was about. David, thank you. I've had these parts for a while, guys, and I wanted to show you what we got planned. In the next video, we will start assembling this saw. I don't think this is going to be part of how to port a power saw. I think I'm just going to throw this video up on its own, because it really has nothing to do with porting a power saw. I just wanted to show you guys the 670, what stage it's at, and where we're going from here. The kindness of you folks out there really makes this stuff happen. I couldn't do it without you, and I really couldn't. I used to drive around on Saturdays buying up power saws. Well, with the pandemic, there's not a lot of saws for sale around here, and Saturdays I try and keep for shooting video and saw work, so it's awesome. I really appreciate you guys taking your time to get parts and saws and whatever for this channel. It means a lot to me, and seriously, I couldn't do this without you guys. So, okay. The 670 is going to be a new saw. I can't wait to get it back together and see what it's going to look like. As always, thanks for watching. Take her easy. Later, guys. And David, I hope you're doing well. Give me a dingle if you need anything, buddy. Thank you. Later.